And because I enjoyed singing, I got involved in that. And Father Martin and Father Eugene were students there at the same time. And so I ended up singing along with them on the stage for those school productions.
We began singing from when they were 12 and I was 14 and a half, 15. We've been singing together ever since, and that's quite a long time. And that's how the three of us began singing together just as children.
And then, of course, we continued on our journey together into the seminary. We sang together in seminary choirs, in university choirs, both in Belfast and also in Rome, where we were students together studying theology. When we came back from Rome, back to our diocese, we co-founded a choir called Cappella Siciliana, and we sang together in that choir for about 13 or 14 years.
And by, I suppose, providence of God, accident, it's not something we ourselves chose, but we were, in a sense, found, and we've become very well known through a contract and an opportunity to make an album with Sony, and what we thought would be a kind of a venture, an innovative venture, but would still capture our sound on one album, suddenly mushroomed into something we never ever expected. And we're now 10 years together as the priests.
Music and the human voice have been very much part of my life from a very, very early age and have shaped me, to be honest. There's no doubt that the human voice that God has gifted me with has been a very important part of my journey into the priesthood and the vocation that God has given to me in trust. So I would say that through this medium of music, I have been able to reach hearts in a way which is different, hopefully one that is engaging, uplifting, and reassuring as well.
Music was responsible for awakening my faith at a personal level. Music was like a doorway for me to enter into a more alive expression of my faith, or a more alive awareness of my faith. The hymns, the words of the hymns, all of it just made me wonder and question and drew me deeper and deeper into a life of faith.
As we got to learn music and we appreciated the words of the songs and the hymns we were singing, that was a great help in the development of our faith. I think we enjoyed expressing ourselves through music, and in the music that helped us in our faith, I think it also helped us in our individual journey and decision about priesthood. As St. Augustine says, he who sings prays twice. I think there's a lot in that, he who sings prays twice, because the fusion of music, harmony, the rhythm, the rise and fall of the line, the words, create the space and the time.
I didn't always understand the power of music, nor did I always understand how it was so important in my priestly ministry, until sometimes people came back and told me how their life had been touched in some way by the music, by the singing. For example, a lady she was very depressed and she was contemplating suicide, and she was actually going to the bathroom cabinet where she kept her sleeping pills. She was going to take an overdose, and she played the music of the priests, and it stopped her from doing that. She recommitted herself to life and to living. There are stories like that that take you completely by surprise. You don't realize for one moment the impact that something you say or something you do might have on someone's life. And I have been very blessed that there have been those times when God has used the gift that He gave to me to do some good and to further His plans and His purposes.
The most significant event or experience that I've had is in the event of death, where people are particularly attuned to listening to what's being said, and indeed even the choice of the readings at the funeral and the prayers of the liturgy, which I think speak more eloquently than any words that we humanly can put together. The liturgy of the Mass and the prayers that accompany the event of death carry all of us through that experience. And then to that is added music and prayerful song, hymns, and the chants of the church. And I've had experiences when people have said to me how moved they were by the beauty of the liturgy and the words of the liturgy that has carried them through their grief, and indeed the experience of death of a loved one, which has, through that fusion of all those things, has helped them to return to the practice of faith and creating time and space in their lives for God. That for me has been one of the most significant times when my faith and its expression through song and music has helped a number of individuals more than I ever expected or imagined.
One experience I would share with you is when I was called to the intensive care unit in the Ulster Hospital, not too far from the parish. And I remember arriving to visit the patient, and one nurse came up to me during my visit and said, "Father, there is a nurse here who loves your music. Would you mind singing one of her favourite pieces?" I said, "Certainly. I'll do that for the nurse, no problem." So I made my way from the patient into another room where I met the nurse, and she was absolutely delighted that I was going to sing. And so I burst into song, and all I can remember was the absolute sense of quiet that descended on the intensive care unit. It was mysterious, indeed I would say magical, as people listened. And what I was also conscious of was all the nurses, while keeping one eye on the patient, were keeping both ears on the music. It was a lovely experience, a healing experience, and I hope uplifting.